Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Hope you're having a good one. Thanks for tuning in. If you're a subscriber of mine, thanks for the support. If you're a flyby, thanks for checking out the video. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Ozark Trail Camouflage knife. Now, before we start, try not to, burst out laughing at this knife. I know the Ozark Trail, Walmart knife, etc., etc. We get it. But this knife actually kind of surprised me in a lot of ways because I expected so little from it. This was a gift from my mother, and so I'm very grateful for that. Even though this isn't a knife I would typically buy for myself, it's kind of a good thing that she gave it to me because, again, it's not my taste. I don't like the Hunter's camo. I'm not really a big fan of that blade shape or the Ozark Trail brand. But nonetheless, she gave it to me for Christmas, and I actually kind of like this knife a lot, given its, certain flaws here and there. So we'll throw off all the stats real quick, and then we'll get into my opinion. Blade length is 2 3/4 inches. It is titanium nitride coated, and it is partial hollow ground. The overall length is going to be 6 3/4 inches. It has dual thumb studs. And it also has a flipper, but the flipper is kind of meh. I mean, if you use your wrist to flick it as you're flipping it, it works, but I just use the thumb studs because they're awesome. Round, smooth, perfect thumb studs. Love it. The handles are some sort of plastic, like ABS plastic, something like that. I've seen it used before on some cheap folding knives. This one is just hydro dipped for that Hunter's camo, which again I'm not a big fan of, but it's kind of growing on me. So there's that. The pocket clip is right hand carry, tip down only, and it's not very deep. So that's pretty much all negative. I am right-handed, so I would typically carry a knife on the right-hand side, but I prefer my knives to be tip up and a little bit deeper carry than that at least. It is a liner lock knife. Liners are a pretty typical thickness. The lockup, let's check. Wow, that's actually, so there's a fair amount, not a fair amount, but a noticeable amount of side to side. Don't think that you're going to be able to see it. I can't really see it. I can feel it though in my hand. So there is side to side, but there is absolutely none up and down. And this lock, although I have just gotten this for Christmas, so I have not had this knife for very long, this knife has never once failed to lock properly. It is always locked. So that's a plus. The liner engagement, pretty good. One of the dings that I'll have against this knife is its blade centering. From the factory, this is pretty much where it was. It's not quite rubbing yet, but this is one of the weird things that perplexes me about this knife is it's all over the place with its blade centering. Sometimes it will be rubbing. Other times it'll just be in the center. I've had it to where it's even rubbing on the opposite side like that, and it's not the pivot loosening. I've tried to tighten it, it did nothing. I've tried to loosen it, did nothing. So either the blade, the flat in the blade back here where it pivots against the handle or where it rubs against the handle is off, or one of the washers on the inside is not consistently the same thickness. So it kind of, because as you play with the knife, sometimes it just walks its way to center, and then before you know it, it's rubbing again. But it's not because the pivot is loose. Again, the pivot's tight, and I just can't get it to go to center, or at least stay there. So the handle is actually quite nice, believe it or not. It doesn't look like it would be that great. It's very stumpy, kind of short and chubby. But it has a certain feel to it that's just nice. I like that the flipper inherently provides a natural guard. That's nice. Good finger groove here. And I don't know, it just feels good in the hand. The jimping here on the back of the handle is actually kind of effective. You see here's some deep notches cut in, and your thumb fat just naturally wants to dig in. Very good. But up here on the blade, because of the tinny coating, it's just kind of so rounded out that it's not even functional. Stock edge was not that great. And this is one knife that I haven't really spent that much time with. I kind of made a half-assed attempt to sharpen it, but I haven't given it my full attention yet, so the edge is still probably not going to be that great. This piece of paper wasn't so funky. There we go. So still some fuzzies there on the edge of the paper, which tells me that this edge isn't very tuned. So still got some work to do. Didn't arrive all that sharp, but you know, it's kind of how it is with these low quality knives. The price point on this, I looked at Walmart's website, was $3.87 on their website. It's $3.87. Wow. I think that's quite a steal for what you're getting. I have no intention of ever carrying this knife or ever really using it for much, but I do love to play with it, and it's just kind of fun to mess around with. It kind of bears an uncanny resemblance to the Gerber Remix Tactical. There's something about it that just kind of looks similar. Same tinny coating, probably done at the same factory in China, no doubt. The blade shape here is kind of interesting. I wouldn't know if this has a specific name. I'm not going to claim to be any kind of knife expert or anything like that. But it kind of has like a clip point to a drop point style, because like from here up is drop point, and then here is obviously clipped. So I don't know. It's not my favorite blade shape. My favorite blade shape's the Tonto, but sorry, cat jumped up on the table again. But it's kind of growing on me, and don't know, there's just something about this knife that I keep grabbing it and I keep fondling it. I've even given this knife a nickname of the pig, just because it's kind of short and stubby. It's kind of fat. I don't know. I think the pig is a good name for it. By the way, the bevel, completely off. Even my crappy camera can show you that the left side is completely different than the right side. So, typical Chinese craftsmanship. Anyway, there's not really much more I can say about the knife. It seems to be an okay deal. For the money, I mean, it's not terrible. It's definitely fun to play around with. I would never carry it. It's just too heavy, too thick and chunky, and just doesn't offer me anything really. But I do still appreciate the gift, and I do actually like the knife. As far as would I recommend it to you, you kind of need to make that decision for yourself. I can't really make that recommendation for you. But hopefully you learned something, and you found this, at the very least, somewhat entertaining. Thanks for listening to me ramble about this knife. Stay tuned for others, and thanks for watching.